Yes, they broke the law, but it's not a felony. It's kind of the it's an act of love.
I lived in New York City and Manhattan all my life, okay? So, you know, my views are a little bit different than if I lived in Iowa.
Partial birth abortion.
I'm very pro-choice. I am pro-choice in every respect, and as far as...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, parts of the dueling commercials or hit pieces, if you will, put out by first Donald Trump against Jeb Bush, then Jeb Bush against Donald Trump. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, Jessica Tarlov, Democratic political consultant, political strategist at Douglas Schoen LLC, and Ford O'Connell, Republican strategist and political analyst. All right, guys and ladies, let's start with you, Ford. Are you surprised that with the lead he has, that the Trump campaign decided to go with this, act of love campaign against Bush?
No, they're looking for shades of Willie Horton, and they want to destroy Jeb Bush before he can sort of gather any momentum. This is exactly what Trump wants, because he knows if Jeb Bush is basically damaged goods, he has a much better shot at the nomination. And Jeb wasn't caught flat-footed. He knew darn well to hit back and try to basically get rid of Trump-palooza by saying Trump's really not a conservative.
Jessica, the thing here is, I don't think it matters what they pull up about Trump having said in the past. First of all, I think what Jeb Bush said, the second he said it, I knew that was death, politically speaking, and it would come back to haunt him, and it has. But I don't think they could pull anything out that Trump said in the past, and it'll have any really repercussions at this point.
No, I mean, the people supporting Trump don't seem to care about anything except that he says he's going to build a wall and round up American citizens and kick them out of the country and all these other vile things. I mean, the man doesn't get pushed on specifics ever. And yeah, I think that you're completely correct. The act of love statement, I mean, granted, this is coming from a liberal, but I think that, what Jeb Bush was articulating is a way that a lot of people feel about this. With 70% of Americans saying that they favor either legal status or a pathway to citizenship for the 11 to 14 million undocumented workers who are here illegally. I mean, that's a very strong majority, and Jeb Bush speaks to that.
No, Jeb Bush does not speak for the majority of this country on immigration. Donald Trump does, Ford.
He absolutely does. And Jessica, 59% think we should increase deportations. So let's not throw around numbers just to make a point, because they're all over the map, and frankly, a lot of people are very dissatisfied with the immigration policy in America. Let me say this. Part of Jeb Bush's ad was not aimed at Trump supporters. It was aimed at people who Jeb Bush doesn't want to see jump on the Trump train, because if Trump gets near 40, 50% in any one of these things, he may well lock up the nomination.
Yeah, Jessica, I mean, look at Iowa. Donald Trump, Ben Carson, Carly Fiorina. I mean, that's to me, that says something to everyone, but it also spells trouble, big trouble for Hillary, who is the ultimate insider, career Washington person.
Why is she more that than Jeb Bush? I mean,
because Jeb Bush was never in the White House. Jeb Bush was never a Secretary of State. Jeb Bush was a governor.
The dynastic family, it's the same thing. And there
no, it's not.
Let Jessica finish. Go ahead.
I mean, there will be so much junk coming out on Jeb Bush. I'm not saying it's going to be as bad as the Clinton stuff, and I know that we're going to get to the point of this where I have to defend her on the emails again. But, I mean, it's not like it's going to be clean on the other side there. So, yes, she's an ultimate Washington insider, but people are also ignoring the fact that Bernie Sanders has been in politics his whole life. And they're treating him like he's some sort of outsider, that he, just worked at a commune his whole life and then just appeared here today, with his income inequality message. So
let me say this: Iowa likes the outsider. This has always been the MO, whether it's 2000, 2008. And the bottom line is Bernie Sanders is in better position than Hillary Clinton in Iowa, and basically Jeb Bush is going to have a real trouble in Iowa going forward, because guess what? They want anything but what they see as the establishment.
Ford, Rush made a statement today at the beginning of his show, and I couldn't agree with him more. We lose focus when we read about these emails of Hillary, this drip, drip, drip stuff. These are the emails she wanted us to see. What we have to be concerned about are the ones she erased. The ones she erased, many say, after they were subpoenaed, after she was required to hand them over. That's what we need to be concerned about.
Well, as one famous man once said, there's known knowns and known unknowns. It's the known unknowns I'm worried about. And you're absolutely right. You're not going to get a smoking gun from these emails. What you may get is a violation of 18 U.S.C. 793 and the mishandling of defense information. And right now she's got nearly 200 confidential emails and a couple that actually originated with her. So she can't actually claim her defense. Well, they weren't marked when I sent or received them.
Yeah, and Jessica, this nonsense again that they warrant, she's doubling down on this and tripling down and quadrupling down. They weren't marked classified at the time. If you're Secretary of State, you need to know what sensitive information is, and you don't send it on a personal email.
There is no doubt that this woman is technologically inept.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. She is technologically inept like my butt. You know what?
She's been lying the entire time.
Give me a break. Oh, the poor little woman, the poor little grandmother doesn't know what she's doing. And yet she's the smartest woman in the world. Which one is she, Jessica?
I didn't hear you because I was still reeling from technologically inept my butt.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Either she's the poor little inept woman who's just an elderly grandmother, or she's the smartest, most conniving woman in the world. Which one?
Definitely not the most conniving woman in the world.
Okay.
You guys have had it out for Hillary Clinton since the 90s. Probably before then, actually. I don't know how old you are, Ford, so I'm not sure exactly when your hatred of her began.
But the server is not a right-wing conspiracy, Jessica. This is a self-inflicted wound.
And neither was the dress a right-wing conspiracy either, for that matter. Give me a break. She's inept. She's inept, technically. Yeah. With the cloth? You mean with the cloth? We're coming back with more of the panel. Don't go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the Malzberg panel. More excitement ahead. Jessica Tarlov and Ford O'Connell are here. All right, terrible news from the U.S. Supreme Court last night. They refused to hear the case of the... What's that? No, it was awful news. It was terrible. Anybody who believes in freedom of religion should be scared to death this morning and this afternoon and now tonight after what the Supreme Court did by refusing to take up the case or hear the case of the Kentucky law clerk who refuses to issue gay marriage licenses based on religious objections. A lower court judge had demanded that this clerk do that. She's refused, and now she has to appear in federal court on Thursday, facing all kinds of fines, jail time perhaps, fines, violations, losing her job. Ford, this is what people feared with the Supreme Court decision on gay marriage, and everybody said, oh, don't be ridiculous. Well, here it is.
This is absolutely what people fear who champion religious freedoms. Let me say this about Kim Davis, though. As a government official, it's very hard to basically invoke a religious exemption as a reason for not enforcing the law. It did not shock me that she lost this case. My concern going forward is making sure that the federal government does not tell churches and synagogues what to do, because I'm telling you, they're coming for them next. Do not understand that the gay rights movement is not interested in actually equality here. They want to push religious freedom to the side, and eventually churches and synagogues are going to have their tax-exempt status revoked.
Absolutely. Jessica?
It's such a negative way to look at the gay movement. I mean, you guys, first of all, spewing all this
rhetoric. Not the gay movement, it's the gay rights lobby. Understand the difference.
Right.
It's like the NRA.
Not just the lobby. What, you think that they don't represent the actual interests of the gay community in America, that they just invented this themselves because they wanted to take down religious institutions?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes.
I think that you're both crazy.
You think the atheist organizations that speak out against every little statue, every little plaque, you think they represent the average atheist? You think Now represents the average woman? Come on, give me a break.
Steve, check out the tactics here. When you're trolling a baker in Seattle to bake you a cake for a gay wedding, you're going to tell me you can't find anyone else?
Right.
Come on, this isn't South Texas. This is Seattle, Washington, home of progressives.
Like this, and I do understand the concern. I think it's 63% of Americans actually were concerned after the gay marriage ruling that this would infringe upon people's religious liberties, and we'll see more of this. But the way that you guys are talking, it's that you're not into gay marriage. You believe that marriage is only between a man and a woman.
That's what that's my belief, that marriage should be between a man and a woman. But I don't believe people should go to jail. I don't believe people who reject that notion of gay marriage on religious grounds should go to jail, or that synagogues and churches should. And you know what? Louis Farrakhan gave a hate hate-filled speech saying hunt them down and kill them. I believe he was talking about white cops in Miami about 3 weeks ago. Nobody's talking about going after that church, but they're going to talk about going after rabbis and priests who say marriage is between a man and a woman. Jessica?
Do you feel that people who just don't like black people shouldn't have to serve them? Do you think we should still live in a segregated society?
You are conflating the First Amendment with equal rights. What are you doing? Look, understand this. Regardless of how you define marriage, okay, in the public sphere, the deal is you're not content with equality in the public sphere. You're content with people thinking the way that you should think, and that is a violation of our First Amendment and therefore our religious liberties.
All right, let's move on, and let's go to the murder rates rising in cities all over the country. We have another police officer shot today in the state of Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. We had, of course, the slaughter, the execution of the police officer in Texas. Finally, this president picked up the phone. I guess he was bored on the way to Alaska, and he called the wife of the police officer in Texas who was slaughtered in cold blood. But, you know, when you see Black Lives Matter, which is a bogus movement based on a fallacy of hands up, don't shoot, and the fact that blacks are being killed, unarmed blacks are being slaughtered by cops, which is the whole statement is ridiculous on its face. Unarmed doesn't enter into it until cops know the person is unarmed. But that's beside the point. Jessica, this is a climate of hate against cops, and it's been perpetrated and promoted by Obama, by Holder at the time, and by Black Lives Matter.
Listen, we've talked about this before. I think the Black Lives Matter movement needs to become more organized. It needs a stronger message. It's about the totality of the experience.
I think fry the pig like bacon is pretty
Jessica,
strong
hold
message.
on. Didn't the DNC just try to pass a resolution saying Black Lives Mattered, and they rejected it? Don't you understand that this is a group without an agenda who's bent on anarchy, and you are so scared as Democrats to be called racist, you just won't stand up to them. It's a farce. It's a sad state of affairs of what goes on in America, and this is tyranny of the minority that's perpetrated
Jessica,
by the
final
Democratic
word.
Party.
Jessica, go ahead.
Listen to me at all. I said exactly that, but in half the amount of time. Where I said this is a group that has a message, but it's only a piece of the message. This is about the experience of blacks in America today. This is about systemic poverty, the need for education.
That's not what those folks are talking
You should be worried about
Jessica
the cops' lives,
Ford,
too.
gotta go. Lloyd Grove is next. Don't go away, folks.